Hello again, and hey, how you doing there, Jeanette? Hey, Jeanette, thank you for joining us. This is Ahmed Owian with Happy Pocket Full of Money, and today we're going to be finishing up the chapter on money, how to use the symbol. And you can go into the Entrepreneurs Workshop group and find the previous recordings of the previous readings and reviews of Happy Pocket Full of Money, and uh, I hope you enjoy them. So, today, the desire to trade even faster has caused us to have currency markets and stock exchanges. Imagine the time when a trader had to walk for half a day to the market, sell one cow, then walk back half a day home. Next came trucks, and farmers could drive several cows to the market and be back home early enough to do another trip. Then came futures and options exchanges, which enabled people to buy and sell thousands of livestock futures and options in seconds without having to get up or move a single cow. Yet nothing dropped from the heavens. It was all right here. People just desired different, and that desire took an infinite coordination of dozens of seemingly unrelated events to end up with the high-tech futures and options market and the zero need to move the cow at the time of trade. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen, so let me go ahead and share that for you guys. So I just read this paragraph here. All right. The sequencing of events of everything to end up with a result that enabled faster trade and profiting was unpredictable. But because the desire was there, nature fulfilled. But let us go back to the past. The agrarian revolution came along, and people, from their desire for more wealth, ended up with ways to improve farming. Again, they simply desired, and that desire led to thought, and what had always been there was rearranged. Nothing dropped from the heavens, but even then, it would take a king 3 generations to build a good-sized home and a fair collection of possessions. The average person did not even think it was possible for them to live in a multi-room brick house with certain amenities. That was for kings and queens. Today, life is different. We are born assuming from observation that a house is something that we shall automatically always live in, and that we shall automatically have clothes and certain other things, and were reserved for royalty, that they were reserved for royalty back then. It does not even cross your mind for a moment that you can lack certain things. Yet people in the past struggled for generations to get those same things. We have the certainty that they did not have. The point here is to see the powerful effects of certainty on an individual level and on a wider scale. Certainty of thought causes massive shifts in the way energy is rearranged. A massive upshift in certainty of thought and in desire for better always leads to a massive shift in the way energy is rearranged for a better life. Take, for example, the emergence of the IT boom. You had Bill Gates and hundreds of other young people making massive amounts of wealth in very short periods. People would become billionaires in few years instead of 4 generations, as it used to take. And as fresh kids out of college watched this happen, they believed they could do it. And many of them believed. And a whole range of new businesses were formed in no time at all. Young people in their 20s were becoming millionaires by the dozens every day. Yet nothing new dropped from the heavens in those few years. All it took was massive desire, belief, and change of thought. All it took was massive desire, belief, and change of thought. Then the energy that was always there in various forms was rearranged into a whole bunch of new forms that led to wealth. And just as millions of people today live better than a few kings lived in the past, the very near future will have billions of average people living better than millionaires live today. And nothing new will be dropped from the heavens. We will simply desire better, have certainty on a higher level because we are now beginning to understand how it all works. And we will change our thoughts the right way, and it will just happen in unpredictable and powerful ways. All that needs to exist is right here. and we have it all. The energy packets that make up everything around us, including our bodies, have an unlimited capability to take unlimited and unimaginable forms as long as the desire is there. They have their own intelligence, and they obey our desires with skill that we cannot imagine. If you analyze any substance at all, from light to thought to metal to flesh, it is all made up of energy packets that collect into atoms, cells, and so on. But the amazing thing about these energy packets is that unlike the forms they build up, they are not confined in time and space. In other words, they can move from point A to B without crossing the space in between, and they are not confined within the object that they make up. In other words, the energy packets making up your finger right now are not the same ones that will make it up in a few seconds. They can flash up your finger, then flash up another person's belly a moment later, or in your light bulb in the house. You do not have your own bunch of energy packets, so to speak. In fact, they are not really particles in the sense that you think of particles. You are forever sharing these packets with everyone and everything else at all times, and they can travel forward and backwards into time. This is what we and all matter are made up of. Energy packets, flashing in specific patterns to form the appearance of shapes. The information that dictates these specific patterns is partially made up of our thoughts, and partially the thoughts of the rest of the universe. That is why medicine is now discovering that our thoughts are very much linked to our state of health. And science is discovering that nothing being observed can be observed independently of the observer, because the observer's expectations and thoughts influence the object under observation. Money is absolutely linked to our thoughts, desires, and certainty and history, and science can prove that to you now. So money is absolutely linked to our thoughts, desires, and certainty. And history and science can prove that to you now. Hello
Why?
there. Hello. Hi, Heidi.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to mute you for now, okay? Thanks for joining. Money is absolutely linked to our thoughts, desires, and certainty. And history and science can prove that to you now. It is in your best interest to improve your own wealth consciousness and that of the world. Your becoming wealthy makes the world wealthy, and the world becoming wealthy makes you wealthy with a whole lot less effort. Look at history to prove this. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. A major key to building wealth is in making your money work for you, instead of you working for your money. If you work for 5 days in a week and spend all your income without investing any of it, you will have forever lost those 5 days of work. Forever. Wealthy people take a portion of the income from each day and put it into investments that grow on their own, automatically, and without any further work over a long-term period. That way, a portion of each day that you work for money ends up working back for you for many years to come. That is a major key to wealth, getting a percentage of your income every day to work back for you without your intervention. You do this by taking at least 10% of your daily income before taxes and bills and putting that into a long-term investment for a minimum amount of 3 years. Good investments include stocks, mutual funds, certain types of bank accounts that have high and above inflation interest rates, real estate investment vehicles, bonds, royalty-producing assets, self-maintaining businesses, hint, hint, and so on. These investments do not require you to work for your money. You simply invest, walk away, and your money grows all on its own. I have to pause here. I'd like to get your feedback, Heidi, if you will. What do you think about what you just heard? I can't unmute you because you apparently have muted yourself. So while you figure out how to unmute yourself, I'm just going to touch on that. That's amazing. Like, that is what the epitome of passive income is. And that's exactly why, I looked out and found an online business. What do you think, Heidi? Would you like to participate? It's okay. I think this is her first time to join this. But anyway, so that's something that you can most definitely do. I'm part of a community where We are all doing that. We all invest in ourselves first, because any investment that you do in yourself, no one can ever take it away. No matter what the markets are doing, whether they go up or down, the investment you make in yourself will never be withdrawn, and you can't lose it, I guess, unless you get Alzheimer's or something like that. But the truth of the matter is that what we do is we invest in ourselves and we share that with others, and we actually empower other people to invest in their selves, and we grow personally and we grow with our business. And online, we have a system that we leverage on a regular basis, that even while we sleep, we're making money. So this is something that's possible. If you're interested in that, you know where to go. A happy pocket full of money. Even $1 can turn into $1 million in a certain amount of years at a certain compound interest rate. $1, just $1, can grow into $1 million all on its own without your intervention. You would be pleasantly surprised to know that a single dollar placed into an investment that grows at 20% a year will become 1 million in 75 years. That is just $1. All you would need to do is leave it alone. Go away, go to sleep for 75 years. Just leave it alone. When you return, it will be worth $1 million without any effort from you, other than you're placing that single dollar at the beginning. Now, if instead you put in $1 every single day into the same 20% a year growth investment, you would end up with 1 million in 32 years instead of 75. In fact, $1 a day would become 1 billion in 66 years. A higher interest rate would dramatically shorten that time. Now, I don't believe in interest, but I can definitely tell you, you can get growth rates at 20% or more when you do business. And we can show you how you can do that. This shows you that you can never have too little to start with. That's right. You can never have too little to start with. I love that. Whatever your income today, force yourself into the habit of investing 10% of your income before you pay bills or taxes or anything else. Pay yourself first. It is your money and your life, and it gets even better. The 1990s was an era when stocks rose phenomenally. In the 1990s decade, over 200 stocks rose by 1,000%, some by up to 20,000%. Crazy. Many fell again in 2001, but on the long term, all good companies always rebound to even higher heights. People in the 90s invested various amounts and found themselves wealthier for that. Some invested just $50 a week, and if that was their 10%, that was good enough. It grew. Others invested more. $10,000 invested just once at the beginning of 1990 in certain stocks turned out to be valued at around $5 million by the end of the 90s. Others turned a few $1 million into well over $1 billion in the same period. All this wealth growth happened without any extra effort except putting money away into the investment. These people were not doing anything secret. They were investing in publicly available investments. They were investing in well-selected shares in the stock market, and anyone can do this. You can do it as well, starting now. Just remember, choose your investments well, invest consistently, and put 10% aside from every single paycheck or income. Consistency is the key. Compound interest will always work for you without asking anything from you. Your only part is to be consistent, to choose good investments, and to stay put on the long term. Short-term investing usually does not earn as much as long-term investing, as it is usually a lot riskier. And it is usually a lot riskier. Again, I don't believe in interest or compound interest, but I do believe in dividends from sound companies that make profits off of doing sound businesses. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Taxes and the government. We need a government. Hello there. Hi, Brittany. I just unmuted you. Feel free to participate. Taxes and the government. We need a government. That is for sure. Without governments, society would not be able at our present stage to organize infrastructure development, security, and so on. But there is such a thing as wasteful government or too much government. Just because it is a government does not mean it is always right, that it sets the right amount of taxes we should pay, and that it uses the money wisely without waste. So what is in our best interest, you and I, is to figure out how much we need to pay in tax. We need to keep government alive and healthy and serving us well without paying too much to the point that we don't have enough to invest and enjoy life, while government has too much and wastes it on activities such as building weapons of mass destruction and the like. Governments across the world have tax rates ranging from 0 to 80% or so. Taxes are usually a person's biggest single expenditure. Within each country, you can arrange your affairs in ways that legally minimize your tax amount with the help of professional tax advisors. Winston Churchill once said that no person has the legal or moral obligation to arrange his or her affairs so that the government can put its biggest shovel in. I personally believe that the magic formula is 10, 10, 10, 70. That is 10% of your income in taxes, 10% in charity, 10% in long-term investments, and 70% for your enjoyment and spending. For that is what life is all about, enjoying your life, not struggling with it. Spending any less than 10% on government would kill it, and more than that gives it too much money. And it is because of this excess that we have, for example, too many deadly nuclear weapons that never really helped us. Military expenditure is the biggest total government expenditure worldwide. Yet military expenditure does not circulate in the economy or benefit us as much as other expenditure. A nuclear missile built and never fired is dead money. It just stays in a silo waiting to be fired. Yet the day it is fired, it causes even more destruction. Weapons just put us in a state of fear either way you look at it. The way to prevent war is not to build weapons, but to eliminate borders, division, and economic differences. The United States would have been far weaker and less stable today if it did not unite its states a couple of hundred years ago. Before becoming a federation of states, the United States had civil wars and travel and commerce barriers within itself. Hey again, Heidi. Feel free to unmute yourself and participate. So that is 10% of your money going to government as taxes. After that, do not forget to spend at least 10% on charity, doing things to uplift your society and spend, and hence yourself. And invest at least 10% in long-term good investments. Then enjoy and spend the rest. Now, I want to stop here for a second, and I want to honestly ask you guys who are watching this video, how many of you spend or invest 10% of your income in yourself, in your investments? How many of you invest 10% of your income in helping other people? And I'm saying it like that for a reason, because when you actually go out and help other people, that's an investment in your fellow man. Okay? And if you believe in karma, or if you believe in, kama tudinu tudan, or if you believe in what you do comes back to you sevenfold, then investing in other people, investing in helping your fellow man is one of the surefire ways to have things good happen to you. So I want to ask you, if you haven't ever calculated it, go out there and calculate it. Figure out how much you are investing in yourself for the future, and how much are you helping your fellow man. Of course, we all know how much we're paying taxes, but if you want to decrease how much you're paying taxes, a simple way is to start a business. I can show you how to do that. Be cheerful in your spending. Your spending causes the increased income of others and drives the economy. Imagine what would happen if everyone stopped spending. The more we spend, the more the energy is exchanged, and the more we all get wealthy. At first, this new 10-10-10-70 arrangement may be a little difficult for some people to execute because they are all spending almost all their money at the moment and have not arranged their affairs for optimal taxation. But within a short time, it is easy to change habits to fit this into this new format. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Knowing the real difference between an asset and a liability is another key to wealth. Hint, hint, Robert Kiyosaki's book right here. An asset is anything that creates net wealth or net income for you. So an asset brings you money. An asset is anything that puts more money into your pocket than it took out from it. A liability is something that does not do that. A liability is anything that takes money away from your pocket without putting back money into your pocket more than it took. By that definition, some of the items that people consider as assets are really liabilities. Homes on mortgage are liabilities. They are the bank's asset. Cars are liabilities. They take more from you in cash than they give back. Wealthy people obviously have more assets than liabilities. That is just obvious. Can you imagine being wealthy when your true liabilities are more than your true assets? The assets grow the wealth for wealthy people. Analyze your life and reclassify everything in it as an asset or liability as we have defined them. Always maintain more assets than liabilities. Otherwise, you will have zero or negative wealth, debts. It is such a simple formula. Seriously, go out there and look at what you have. Look at what you possess, or rather, look at what you have been the custodian of in this life, and determine, is it an asset? Is it bringing you money? Or is it a liability? Is it sucking you dry? And then decide or determine if you have more assets than liabilities. Because if you have more assets than liabilities, you're likely to become wealthier and wealthier. There is nothing wrong with buying liabilities. Indeed, many of life's most enjoyable things, such as beautiful homes and boats and cars, are by our new definition liabilities. But they make life enjoyable. So go ahead and enjoy, but never let your liabilities, as we have defined them, exceed your assets, as we have defined them. Otherwise, you will soon end up in negative wealth or debt. Always maintain that positive balance. If you wish to have that nice home, the way to get it is to first work on having an asset that produces an income that is high enough to finance your mortgage. Then use it to pay for your house payments. So get assets first and use them to finance liabilities. By the way, you do not count yourself as an asset. Getting a job to earn money to pay your mortgage is not the way. That is called working for your money. And it is an often unhealthy and dangerously trapping cycle to get into. Your money should always work for you. I'm going to repeat this part. By the way, you do not count yourself or your education or the amount of degrees you have or your credentials or your resume as an asset, because getting a job to earn money to pay your mortgage is not the way. That's called working for your money. And it is often an unhealthy and dangerously trapping cycle to get into. Your money should always work for you. Your money should always work for you. The money you earn with your mind and hands on your job or work is to be used to acquire investments and assets. These assets and investments then generate income on their own without much further intervention from you to buy the liabilities for you. You do not work for your liabilities. You work for your assets only, and your assets work for your liabilities. That is the key to becoming wealth. If at present you do not know how to do that, then get books and advisors who can show you how to do that in your situation. Good assets to acquire or build include stocks, mutual funds, certain type of bank accounts that have high and above inflation interest rates, and real estate investment vehicles, bonds, royalty-producing assets, self-maintaining businesses, and so on. You want to get into a business, just contact me. I'll show you how you can do that and how you can get an asset that can pay you back. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Say that. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Whatever you seek to know, a very good book or person exists that will give you this knowledge. For books, Amazon.com is a great starting point for your search. For other information, a search on Google.com usually gives you what you're after. In this day and age, we lack nothing. In truth, we never did. We just made up the shortage ourselves. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Live a luxurious life. Remember, life is images of the mind expressed. So keep your mind straight. Keep improving yourself and your environment and surroundings with luxury and beautiful nature. It is from what is around you that many of your mental images are formed, and you therefore should have a good source of mental imagery. Luxury and a healthy environment and nature breed more wealth by breeding higher images of the mind. Live in as much luxury as you feel comfortable and happy with. It's called, you guys, act as if first, and then you shall manifest it. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Take care of Mother Nature, the goose that lays the golden eggs. Do not pollute or destroy the environment, fast or slowly. That is killing the same source that enables you to be. Remember the law of cause and effect, the law that never fails. People think that they can destroy the environment, usually for self-profit, and get away with it because it is in future generations that will be affected. The law of cause and effect never fails. As surely as you breathe, you reap. Whatever you sow, positive or negative, the only thing we do not know is how, where, and when. Sow good seeds, and you will reap good harvest. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Money is value energy that, like all energy, lives to flow and needs to flow to stay alive. Help it flow cheerfully, and it will be attracted to you. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Give the service that others need. Increase their value. We are here to help and serve each other, to act as growth enablers for each other. Do this in your own capacity, and money automatically will flow in. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Say to yourself and believe it. Money loves me, and I love money. This will be true for you to the extent that you can say this comfortably and with joy, without feelings of guilt. If you find yourself guilty, find the reason why and ask yourself how true that reason is and where you got that reason. To the extent that you are comfortable with money and you welcome and love it, so shall you be wealthy. Money is an energy that allows freedom and loves freedom. It goes where there is freedom and where it is given freedom. It goes where there is freedom and where it is given freedom. Misers and stingy people, although they try the hardest to keep money, make it hardest for them to acquire and keep money. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Enjoy money. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Don't chase and serve money. Don't be enslaved by it or seek to hoard it in a trap. Instead, be with it and have a free and relaxed relationship with it. Appreciate and love it and enjoy its function and attributes, which are the enabling of freedom and the flow of value. Money, value is energy. And like energies attract, while unlike energies repel. So have the energy, attributes, and vibration of money in you, and you will attract it. Do this by being happy, free, giving, and abundance-minded. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Money enjoys and loves being in the presence of wealth consciousness. It loves the company of people who love and enjoy money, and like all of life, it multiplies and flourishes in the presence of the conditions that it loves. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Treat money as a live personality. Treat it as you would a good friend. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. The more you give value by selling valuable goods and services, by showing others how to obtain value and wealth, by buying other people's products and services, and by sharing, the more the money comes back to you through the laws and through the law of cause and effect. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Dedicate a few minutes a day, every day, to the study of life, wealth, and of your profession. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. If one person can accomplish $1 million worth of business in a given time, 3 people working together in harmony can accomplish much more than $3 million. When in harmony, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Involve like-minded people in your business to multiply your efforts and income. And that's exactly what we do in this community. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Be comfortable with money. Feel free around it. Talk about it. Treat it and love it as you would a close friend. In that aptitude, you will attract it. If you fear it or refuse to love it, you repel it. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Some people have a problem with loving money. The problem is that they do not love it. To attract money, you need to love money. To attract anything, loving it is the fastest way to do it. It is also true that you also attract what you fear. But when you fear money, you do not attract money. You attract whatever it is that you fear about money. Some people say that loving money is wrong. They often say the love of money is the root of all evil. Analyze that statement. The love of money in itself is not evil. It can just be the root to evil. Money itself is also not evil, but it can cause coveting, greed, and subsequently crime. Loving money is perfectly healthy as long as you do not develop that into greed and crime. In fact, loving anything, not just money, when taken in the wrong way, can be the root to crime. People have killed over the love of their romantic partners, property, and religion. Yet there is nothing evil about loving partners, property, and your faith. It is never love that is wrong or the item being loved. It is only when that love is expressed in an unhealthy manner that its effects can be considered wrong. So feel free to love money, genuinely love it, but watch yourself and do not let that love turn to greed and covetousness, but love it. Money moves to those who love it most. Money is a lovely thing. It is a statement of abundance, not scarcity. Abundance is the natural state of the source. It frees people to pay attention. It frees people to pay attention to other things in their life. Life is fantastic, so full of so much that we have not yet explored. Money frees you to explore avenues of life that you previously did not have a chance to explore. Money also gives people the ability to express their love, to give, to create, to share, to uplift others. Love money, and it will love you. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. A very important and fundamental key to wealth is multiple sources of income. Build multiple sources of income for your life. There are numerous good books on this. Multiple sources of income are your key to financial freedom. They're a manifestation of your dynamic, free, and multidimensional nature. More accurately, make sure that each income stream is a business, not a job. A job is something that requires you to be there for it, so that it can make money for you. A business is something that once set up does not need you to be there to keep going or growing. A job needs you. A business does not. That is the difference. I want to touch on something here before we go on. It's a bit of advice that I got from a billionaire, passed on to a millionaire, passed on to me. And it is that the most important thing that a CEO should be doing and should be striving to do as much as possible is lying back in his chair and kicking his feet up on his desk. And what I mean by that is that a CEO or someone who owns their own business should work as much as possible on making themselves redundant and making it so that even if something happened to them, their people could still run the business. Their business could still run itself. Okay? So how do you make yourself redundant? Is by delegation, and spend all your time working on the things that only you can do, making those executive decisions and delegating all the rest of your business out to people. And yes, relinquishing control, but it's okay. Knowing that full well, as long as you put in the right people in place and put them into the right responsibilities, they will take care of your business. And you can relinquish that control, knowing full well that you're going to reap even more rewards than you were able to do by controlling everything yourself. So a job needs you. A business does not. That is the difference. Some businesses are actually jobs. You may own a business that is a job for you. It needs you to tend to it. Without your constant attention, it falls. Jobs take your time and freedom. Businesses give you time and freedom. A person with multiple streams of income from multiple businesses ends up with free time that he or she can use to live well, to launch more businesses if need be. Jobs never allow such liberties of free time to diversify and be free to enjoy other aspects of life. So have multiple sources of income, but ensure each source is independent of you and has been built to do well without your constant attention. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Teach wealth consciousness to your children from an early age. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. Remember, have multiple streams of income that do not need you to be present for them to keep producing. To have multiple sources of income, simply desire it to be so. Make it part of your goals. Visualize and start buying books and magazines and talking to people. The right businesses, investments, and sources will then simply start coming to you. And always keep wise counsel for everything. Have a person who is of wealth consciousness and of specialization in that area to advise and counsel you. Learn also to trust your feelings, but not your emotions. Follow your desires. It is easy. I would tell you guys that I am a part of a community where we are all wealth conscious and where we all mentor each other and we are all of good counsel. So you should be actually considering what I'm talking about, and you should be communicating with us how you can become one of us. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. Of highest importance, remember always that the universe gives you exactly what you are and think. Read this twice. Of highest importance, remember always that the universe gives you exactly what you are and think. If you believe that money is bad, is unworthy, is evil, is shameful, or anything else negative, and if you believe that you are none of those things yourself, you create a conflict within you. You would be giving the universe the message that you are a good and positive person and that money is a bad and negative thing. In such a case, in the interest of honoring your conflicting message, the universe would give you conflicting results, and you would end up with little money. You must honestly and genuinely identify your values with the values you assign to money. If you believe you are a good person, then truly believe money is a good thing, and vice versa. Those who believe they are good people and that money is bad end up with little money. Those who believe they are bad people and money is for good people end up with no money. Those who feel they love money and money loves them, that it is all good or bad, just as they are the ones that end up with it. The other thing to always remember, still on the same exactness topic, is that if you believe in abundance, you shall have it. And if you do not, you shall not have it. You must seek to understand intricately the abundance of the universe. See it, feel it, understand it, be it. You get exactly what you think and are. So there's actually a hadith Qudsi and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that says, أنا عند, let me think about it. It says, أنا عند ظن عبدي بي, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am that which my servant thinks of me. So if you think that God is all powerful, all kind, all generous, then he will be that for you. If you think of him as a punisher, as one who only dishes out the justice and not necessarily one who can forgive and one who would overlook things, then that's what you're going to get. أنا عند ظن عبدي بي. That's Arabic. And so, again, here this book talks about the universe and the source, the one, where when I interpret that, I think about God. You know, God is all powerful. God is all abundant. And he can and does give to all his creations constantly. But when you think negatively of God, basically you're going to have a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're just going to receive negative results. So You must seek to understand intricately the abundance of the universe. See it, feel it, understand it, be it. You get exactly what you think and are. To the extent that you think of and believe in shortages, you shall have them. To the extent that you think of and believe in abundance, you shall have it. I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy. All other things held constant to the extent that an individual or society understands and uses money in the right productive and multiplicative way, so will they have wealth and happiness. That was a brief overview on how to handle the physical aspects of wealth consciousness. There is a lot more to know on specific aspects of money and business, depending on what your business interests are. As a start, visit imagesofone.com and see links and free resources as well. Many books have also been written worldwide on almost every current business topic, so you will never lack the information you need when it comes to the handling of the physical aspects of wealth. The book you are reading now was primarily to take you on a quantum leap into the source of wealth, the non-physical aspects of wealth consciousness that so many others often ignore or are unaware of. Combine this wealth consciousness knowledge you now have with the appropriate books and information you can get your hands on regarding your chosen purpose and ventures, and you cannot possibly fail to be wealthy. It is impossible to fail. Well, we have come full circle, and we are near the end of this journey into wealth consciousness. But this is not the end. Life is eternal and infinite. At the end of every truth is the beginning of a new truth. The quest can never end. It can only get larger and more enjoyable. This is the beginning of a new and beautiful journey for you, not the end of it. But always remember to keep balance. Balance your quest for expansion of wealth consciousness with quests for other expansion. Enjoy life and enjoy your time here on earth. Only through balance can you find true joy and true abundance and wealth. And with that, I'm going to finish tonight's, I'm going to finish this up. And we can go into the appendix and maybe a final book review next time. So what are you waiting for? What's holding you back? You can be the greatest vision you have ever had of yourself. Yes, the greatest, the very greatest, no matter how ridiculously great it may seem. Now is all within your easy reach. Seize the moment. Now, you have no reason to wait and no one to blame. Be great in whatever way you choose to be great. Now, here, and thank you. I'll see you next time.